oli ku BOCAT TV. Leero enkya ne luli BOCAT TV.
His brother Nasa Sebagala and our own Jose Mayanja expressed interest to vie for a new cricket within the wider people. We were told that we would go through a 3-stage process of candidate selection. Stage 1, expression of interest, where as you express interest, you are supposed to attach all your credentials on that particular form. And once accepted, then out of the many, out of the thousands, you become one of the aspiring candidates for the party ticket. 2, was supposed to be the harmonization process, widely publicized. And in the harmonization process, it was like SULA. It was like the candidates now have the general membership and leadership of LUC and the general public to sort out one. If not, eliminate as many as possible and remain in the 2 options. Step 2, should there remain more than one candidate, you go to stage 3, which you go for vetting. And in the all of the candidates were all to be separated to get one by a well pre-publicized criteria, which among other things focus on the candidate's leadership credentials and the winnability factors. 2, the candidate's leadership within the constituency or the electoral area that is vying to become candidate. And then 3, his commitment to the struggle, the people power, and the new struggle, and therefore support to the new presidential candidate as well as other candidates and agenda. These were very clear stages that we were supposed to follow, and we were happy to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that we went through all the first and third stages. Why third? Second stage was, in the case of mayoral candidates, was done before the third. The third stage was done before the second. When we went for vetting, like everyone will know, we finished the process, but on the 18th, Sunday morning, the NUP Electoral Commission, National Electoral Management Committee declared Comrade Alhaj Honorable Sebagala as their successful candidate from the vetting process. That shocked us, and this is our reaction. 1, this announcement was made in error, and it came as a shock and the whole country. We can confirm that on this 18th day, Honorable Latif Sebagala, in a strongly worded letter, withdrew from the mayoral race. This left us alone in the race and thus unopposed. We were thus surprised to learn from the social media that a ticket had been given to a candidate that had ceased to exist. Following that development, we immediately wrote a reminder to the NUP Election Management Committee, National Election Management Committee, informing them of the lapse to which we have not received, of this lapse to which we have not received a response. This is the reminder we wrote. This one. We were therefore surprised by, on TV by Honorable Walukamba Masi, the chairperson of the new National Election Management Committee, insinuating that the non-successful candidate was not qualified and therefore they were destined to look for new or other alternatives. If this is not sheer sabotage, advertently or inadvertently, it raises more questions regarding the transparency and credibility of the committee and the entire process. No wonder that after only 48 hours, the Honorable Latif Sebagala did the right thing to again publicly collapse his widely questioned candidature. Congratulate him for that. We also want to address ourselves to the many questions regarding the vetting process and the scorecard that was maliciously leaked to the public. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, we specifically want to focus ourselves on the scorecard and the comments that were made in regard to our candidates' religion vis-a-vis that of Comrade Honorable Latif Sebagala. These were very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate, I want to say, one on behalf of our campaign. We find it terrible absurd. And this terrible absurdity cannot be allowed to stand on record, on the record of our party, NUP, that for somebody to qualify for Lord Mayorship, they must be of a certain. Our campaign will never allow this to happen, or even to stand under our watch. And there can never be any compromise on such a kind of institutional and public discrimination. We want to thank the public and institutions like the Christian Coalition for Leadership, who have gone on record to reject the same. We also call upon other authorities and institutions to follow suit. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, there were a number of lapses in that scorecard, but we particularly focus on that one because it is not only absurd, not only terrible absurdity, but because it is in this modern empire. This was the letter we wrote to the Electoral Commission on the National Oh, this is the letter that our friends in the Christian Coalition for Leadership wrote on the 22nd September 2020, and I read it. Their attention was drawn to a comprehensive assessment report of the NUP Electoral Commission used as a basis for selection of candidates for the position of Lord Mayor of Kampala City. They were shocked that despite the years of political progress, the nation seems to be back where it began, with the ugly head of sectarianism and religious bigotry rearing itself again. That's 50 years ago. They observed that this was in the past a practice of the older parties, and one would expect a new formation as NUP to espouse universal democratic practices. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda indeed protects every citizen's fundamental human rights and freedoms, especially Article 21 that provides for equality and freedom from discrimination, stating that all persons are equal before the law and in all spheres of political, economic, and cultural life. Further to this, they continue to say that no person shall be discriminated against on the grounds of sex, race, color, ethnic origin, tribe, birth, creed or religion, social or economic standing, political opinion, or disability. The article further gives a detailed meaning of discrimination, which is to give different treatment attributable only or mainly to their respective descriptions by sex, race, color, ethnic origin, tribe, birth, creed or religion, social or economic standing, political opinion or disability. By the foregoing, they say, for my part, that is NUP, Electoral Commission, to conclude that a member of the Catholic faith is not favored to be Lord Mayor of Kampala is illegal, unconstitutional, and contrary to the rule of law. It is also clear to them that Joseph Mayanja was discriminated by my party's Electoral Commission because of his faith, and this has no place in modern Uganda. In regard to politics, the general view in Kampala is that Muslims who are in the minority in Kampala have held their share of the position of Lord Mayor at the moment, and that Kampala needs a Christian mayor now, according to them. The last population census indicates the following: that Kampala has a population of 1.5 million, of which 41% are Catholics, 37% are Pentecostals and Protestants, and 17% Muslims. No rationale, therefore, according to them, for the conclusion that one professing the Catholic faith can't be favored by the demographics in Kampala. They wish to denounce the trend in my party, as which NUP is taking, and the manner in which the Electoral Commission of my party conducted business. We expect, that is, they expect, the Honorable President, our President, my President, and the top echelons of NUP to denounce sectarianism and religious bigotry creeping within the ranks of NUP. It was signed by the National Coordinator, Timothy Mayeni. Of course, All this said and done, we cannot say that everything that has gone on in the processes of candidate selection within NUP has not been good. We appreciate the vetting processes that took place by the different panels regarding the local council, local councillors. The only problem we need to address is that the transmission of results and the managing of those results should have brought exactly what was done at the different levels regarding our councillors, including the councillors from LC5, because we're keenly interested in these councillors too, as a leadership which seeks to bring solutions rather than cry over our problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What should we go first? Uganda or questions? Question first.
Yeah, my first question is,
Okay, let's say 1, 2, 3.
I'm not sure.
Your name and the media.
I'm not sure. The issue that is outstanding here is that
Please proceed.
is that religious discrimination that you've highlighted.
Yes.
Would like to be sure as to me as a reporter, besides what we saw on social media, that's BOCAT, that you talked about, that allegedly leaked, did the candidate himself have a copy of this BOCAT that really has the allegations of religious discrimination, like you've stated it, or you are also following what you saw on social media? Does he really have this, and can you really be able to show it to us?
Thank you so much. My name is Hasif. I'm from this team. Now my question is going to be rotating about the meaning of the word people power. So the vetting process, we saw that people were not allowed to, to practice to show their power in the nomination in the party. It was just a committee that sat in the closed doors and they decided for the people. Is that the definition of people power?
Third one.
Yes, my name is Ram. I work with Now TV. In Sampaku, you have been in NUP, you are in NUP, and you know the process they used in determining who they are giving the ticket. I'm wondering whether you see loopholes, or actually you think whatever they voted in that committee was actually right. And two, I personally wanted to know, I have not got a clarification. When you say you wrote back to the committee about Joseph Mayanja, your candidate, I've seen posters that have Joseph Mayanja with ANT. It confuses me. Please clarify on that.
ANT.
Yes. I've seen pictures of Joseph Mayanja that have on social media with ANT. The confusion there.
When did you see that?
Probably somewhere. My phone is off. I'm sure they can show you something.
They have made the advance on it yesterday. All right, I will start with that one. Number one,
Okay, we're going to go.
I'll start with that one. Of recent, personally, as Samuel Walter Bakubye, I've held press conferences regarding messages, fake information put outside there by what we call social media terrorists. And I think as mainstream media, I wouldn't expect any of you just work on this fake information, because you must always find out what was the source of this. If it is information about Samuel Walter Bakubye, you contact him. Those are basics in media. The media. You contacted him. You contact the authority, that is Jose Mayanja campaign, Lord Mayoral campaign. And I want to inform you here and now that that poster is not our poster. That poster was not put in the social media by our own. It was put there by what we call social media terrorists working for other interests. And in any case, then why this press conference? If actually we had chosen to go for the ANT card, we have not engaged ourselves with the ANT party. You can consult them if you want. Neither have we talked about the subject in passing or directly. So where does this one come from? So we want to assure you, we want to tell you, this is fake, like one of you is putting it. This is actually fake, as it is. It is fake. But of course, given the way people are maliciously leaking information to the public, you can now understand the innuendos and the drama behind depicting Jose Mayanja as not an NUP candidate. My friend wants to add on something.
As a campaign director, I just want to tell you that if this is the picture they used, we phased it out 2 weeks ago. This is no longer the official portrait of Joseph Mayanja. And all the persons who have interacted with him know that for the last 2 weeks, we have been using a different portrait. So there could not have been a coincidence that a portrait we phased out 2 weeks ago can resurface a day or 2 days yesterday.
Yeah, so that's number one. But we have seen this. Let the world not be swayed by these dictator influenced insinuations in social media. It has been done on Honorable Mabike because he's a member of this campaign team. You all know it has been done on me and any other person. But I think that chapter we are about to put it behind ourselves and go with what is actually real. Question number 2. Did we have the results of the vetting process? Personally, I'm a member, an aspiring member of parliament from Baga South. Colleagues are also aspiring members of parliament and aspiring councillors. None of us in NUP was given a chance to see what we scored in the vetting process. I have not seen it myself, and I'm an aspiring member of parliament. I don't think a Lord Mayor or member of parliament should have. And out of the many Lord Mayors, that is the one who was given this. But that is exactly where our question is. $1 million question. What was the intention of leaking vetting scorecard to the public? What was the intention if it were not sabotage? But again, you can see our mayor, one of the aspects, on the manifesto, Mr. Solutions got 9 out of 10, while the rest did not even manage 5 or 6 out of 10. You go to popularity, the score was amazing. It was interesting. It was interesting that the man with a brand name, with a fan base that surpasses any other politician and artist, could only get 3 out of 10, while the fellow competitor got 8 out of 10. Baffles. When we go to, I think I made a small record of mine. When we got name first recognition, that Jose could only score 3 out of 10, while Comrade Latif was scoring 8. Can you believe this? Take it to anybody. on any village, whether Chinyoro, whether whatever, whether at the city hall, even outside Kampala, can we believe that the name Jose Mayanja Chameleon could only score 3 out of 10 face name recognition, and that Comrade Latif could score 8%. You can go on and on, whether it is internal, what was it? And all this international exposure, and you say that Jose scored 6 while Comrade Latif, and they gave the comment, because he's only known in East Africa. And then Comrade Latif scored 8 because he's known in Middle East. This is funny. I can't believe this speaks for my part. I think some have done this. Somebody must have played with this. So, in our view, this needs to be redressed. But the most importantly, that now that Comrade Latif did collapse his candidature for no ticket again, we need to put this at the back and go with exactly what it was during expression of interest, during vetting, and with what Comrade Latif has done, and automatically declare Comrade Mayanja Joseph Chameleon as the Lord Mayor candidate for the National Unity Party, and therefore for the People Power Fraternity. The last question was
about the voting process. We expected to have people express their power by deciding who should represent.
All right. People, some few individuals being people power, our power, but they didn't know the meaning. Let me tell you, as one of those, the originators of this idea, and as one of those who have all the valleys and hills of the people power, together with my colleagues. People power must expressly be people power. And that is the power of the people. But people are the work. But of course, here and now I must express that we as candidates appreciate the qualitative process that was put in place, not the quantitative one. For reasons that a few occasions when they try to go out to get a quantitative one, the troops, paramilitary police, and others armed with tear gas and guns and bullets were everywhere to stop the process. We also know that under COVID, it was never going to be, because we tried it, not only NUP, but also other parties. We also know that there were problems, because the party is still new, it's still here. So we all accepted the qualitative one. But even when you handle the qualitative process, you must let the people speak, as it was declared, publicly declared to all of us candidates and to the general public. Our questions are about, one, as you asked, were you given the record straight away that this is how you score? Two, our question is about mishandling the results of the voting process, the vetting process, and also the transmission. Our questions are also about the twice collapsed candidature of one of our own, which leaves us alone on the record that we are the ones that must take the ticket, and therefore for people power. That's where our question is.
Maybe when you say they are leaving you one in the race, according to the vetting committee, the person that you're fronting has already failed. You have written back, because to them he failed the first mark, and that's why they fronted Honorable Latif Sebagala. And you are writing them back to them. Do you see them getting back to you positive? And how much time do you expect? And if they do not agree with what you're asking for, what next? Is Joseph Mayanja going back to singing?
Yes, you answered together. Did you agree when they said those were
I think by and large, those parts of your questions are not very relevant here. Why? Number one, we talked about the passmark. You as the press, you know the passmark?
Let me clarify here.
Yes.
They have a vetting process. Joseph Mayanja went through it. Honorable Latif goes through it, and they say we want. He has what it takes to be there, and Joseph Mayanja doesn't have. They front Honorable Latif Sebakala. By the time he steps down, he is already fronted, and to them, Joseph Mayanja has not qualified. My question is, you have written back to them. Do you see them taking back the person that they think did not qualify? And two, if they say no, what is next?
I got it. I only asked you. You talked about the passmark. You as a member of the press and therefore for and on behalf of the public, do you know what the passmark was? For example, in many cases where a candidate, one of the vying candidates, dies or pulls out, what is the common practice here in Uganda? Constitutionally provided for. Number three, we have informed you that with the developments that happened, we gave a reminder. This is not a petition. It was a reminder of the simple facts, very simple facts. A candidate had collapsed his candidature in the open after the vetting, not before the vetting, but after the vetting, with very strongly worded statement. It is in the public domain and it is in the hands of the new leadership. But again, he has also done so. We don't need to make an appeal. We don't need to make whatever you want. It's just a simple, normal administrative procedure that they ought to do as Electoral Commission. If they don't do it, the National Executive Board of NUP should do the needful. Let me read for you the letter that we wrote. This is the office of the aspiring Lord Mayor, Joseph Mayanja. Writing to the Chairperson, National Electoral Commission of the National Unity Platform. Error in the record of the position of the Lord Mayor, Kampala City. We write to bring to your attention an error on the record on the new candidate for the position of Lord Mayor, Kampala City. And this was written on the 20th of September, Sunday. Please recall that by the closure of 18th September 2021, your record indicates that I, that is Jose Chameleon, was unopposed by the fact my fellow competitor, Honorable Alhaji Latif Sebakala, had withdrawn his candidature in a letter already in the possession of NUP leadership and in the public domain. By the foregoing, Jose writes, I am unopposed NUP candidate for the position of Lord Mayor, Kampala City. Kindly rectify the error in your record of candidates. Yours sincerely, Joseph Mayanja, the NUP candidate, Lord Mayor, Kampala. CC, President, NUP, CC, National Executive Board. And it was received by the same by the authorities at Kampala. Now, for us, we don't lie. We go by facts. And if one just needs to rectify a mistake, they just go ahead and do it. But if they think it was not a mistake, they ought to have written back saying it wasn't a mistake, and we are still waiting for that response. The only response we've had through the media, not to media, on TV yesterday was the 22nd, that one of the candidates that was vetted and had been adopted as according to them, just collapsed his candidature.
Uganda.
So, I think we'll even be celebrating now for having the very, very straightforward way. Olwaleero tusanyusa okuba nammwe bannamawulire wamu ne bamemba ba public naddala abantu n'aba people power abali wano ekyayali. Nga bwe mumanyi ebintu bingi ebigambo bingi biyitinganye mu nnaku omusanvu oguyise ne bireka ng'ensi n'ensi wano mu Kampala n'ebule n'ebweya wamu ne Bulaaya n'emitala w'amayanja nga buli omu yeebuuza kiki kampeyini ya Joseph Mayanja Lord Mayor kyegamba ku nsonga zino zonna zituulya. Bino wammanga by'ebituufu nti ekituufu kiri nti mu biseera ebitali byewala mwenna mwakimanya nti Mwami Latif Ssebaggala Alhaji Nasantege Ssebaggala muganda we naffe bakamwakoogera tutegeeza Mwami Mayanja Yosefu bwe mwakazaako erya Chameleon twagenda ekamwokya okutwalayo empapula zaffe ez'okulaga okweyagaliza ekifo ky'obwaki ky'obwa Lord Mayor nga amateeka ga Nuubu bwe gaatulagira. Ekirungi tewaliwo candidate wakutaano oba wa mukaaga yasobola kutwegattako. Twalindira stage ey'okubiri nga stage zino bwe zaalangirirwa akakiiko k'ebyokulonda nange Samuel Walter mukaaga kwe nali okubanga ebintu bino so mbyogera nga n'okubimanya mbikola ki mbimanyi. Akakiiko kazze katutegeeza bulungi nti osooka ne weesunsula ng'oyita mu process ey'okutwala empapula ezo gwe nga candidate. Abeesunsula ku nsonga zino baali basatu era baawaayo n'ebiwandiiko byabwe ebitegeeza nti bali qualified oba basaanidde ekifo ky'obwalondi. Ekyokubiri wali olina okuyitibwa singa balaba nti osaanidde ku stage ey'okubiri ogendayo ng'omaze kusaanira. Stage ey'okubiri gye tuyita ey'okwesunsula harmonization okufuna consensus kumwe nammwe nga mwetunuddemu muyambe ekibiina kya Nuubu ne revolution okulaba nti mwerondako omuntu omu. After all kasabo bale qualifications ezo mwenna omukumu asobola okuba komanda w'olutabaalo. Bwe tutyo twagenda mu veti era mwenna mwakimanya okuggyako omuntu omu Alhaji Nasantege Ssebaggala. Era twategeezebwa ku olwo nti vetting process yennyini tennaba nakuggwaayo ejja kulindamu ennaku olw'okubeera nti Alhaji Nasantege Ssebaggala kyali kizuuliddwa era ng'ategeezezza nti mulwadde bamuweemu akadde asuuke bwe kiba kisoboka ng'obudde bwa Electoral Commission bukyakola ki bukyaliwo vetting eyokeggweyo. Naye gyatwewuunyisa nga wakayidde essaawa tezinawera 48 ne tulengera ka leak oba communication ku social media nga ewandiikiddwa authoritative n'omu ku bamemba ba National Election Management Committee nti bano be bameeya ono ye Lord Mayor alondeddwa ne bakansalaza abalondeddwa mu bifo byabwe oluvannyuma lwa vetting process. Era mu nsonga eno ekiwandiiko ekikyategeeza bulungi ensi nti yali alondeddwa ku bwa Lord Mayor ye yali omukulu Lord Mayor omukulu Honorable Latif Ssebaggala Sseŋŋendo anga si balala abaali beesiimye. Twakitunuulira ensi yawaawaala amatu. Kampala yawuniikirira. Kampeyini eno yafuna shock. Naye ekirungi Lord Mayor waffe omwami Jose Mayanja teyatiirira nsonga yakwata epeeni n'awandiikira abakulu aba NUP Electoral Commission ebbaluwa enfunda okubajjukiza ebyali bibaddewo okuva vetting process bwe yaliwo. Mu ebyo ekyali ekikulu eky'okubajjukiza y'ebbaluwa Honorable Latif Sebagala Sengendo yanafu oba obutatunuulira ensonga eyo. Era twakitegeera tikyasiza vetting muntu wezi kuba ekyo kyokka kyali kimaze okulaga tiwetaaga kgenda mubirwa mu birala. Ebbaluwa eno tukyalinda okuddibwa kusala mu mimiro gya kampeyini eno oba kyali kigendeddemu ekigendo ekitali kirungi bwe baafulumya sikowa kaadi ya vetting ate nga bamaze okukola communication egamba nti mwami Sebagala yalondeddwa. Sikowa kaadi yawuniikiriza ensi bwe yayogera ebintu byotalowooza era bye bataatugambako nti banaabikonsideringa byotalowooza ku mulembe guno Uganda wetuuse gamba okulaga obusosoze ku madiini nti ekifo gundi tekisaanidde muntu bwati kisinga kusaanira muntu wa ddiini bweti. Saagala nakubisa kampeyini tetwagala nakubisa Mukama naye bw'ogamba nti Jose Chameleon omukatuliki ekyo kimubulobedde okufuna obubonero obumala n'afunayo busatu bwokka ng'omubuuziza nti oli mukatuliki n'akugaa nti ndi mukatuliki n'omugaa nti gwawo ku byeddiini okusaanira ekifo kino ofunyeeko busatu naye ayogedde nti ndi musiraamu ye n'afunako 8 kiba kiwuniikiriza amatu kubanga ate nga bannaffe aba coalition Christian Coalition for Leadership n'ebibiina ebirala bwe bitandise okuvaayo mu buwandiike ne mu kanwa nga byawuniikiridde baatulaze bannaffe ne bagamba nti ne bw'oba olowoozezza bw'otyo omuwendo gw'Abannakampala guli $1.5 million oguli mu bantu abakulu abakola akalulu naye $1.5 ebitundu 41 ku buli 100 by'Abakatoliki bimanyiddwa mu National Census yakabaawo. Ebitundu 3 mu 7 ku buli 100 by'abannaffe aba Church of Uganda ba Anglican ne ba Pentecostals. Ate ebitundu 17 ku buli 100 byo bimanyiddwa nti by'abannaffe abasiraamu. Ate baba twali 17 n'obawa 8 oba totegeereddwa bulungi ekigendererwa nkyo kakiiko. Coalition for Leadership n'ebitongole ebirala bitwagala okugamba nti byebale n'ebirala ebitannaba biveeyo ffe abakampeyini eno ekintu kye tutagenda kukkiriza mu kampeyini eno mu NUP mu People Power ne mu bibiina bya Uganda ne ebyobufuzi bya Kampala Uganda n'okutwala bonna tetugenda kukkiriza kuddamu ku mirembe egyayita emyaka 50 egiyise nga tulonda abantu okusinziira ku madiini gaabwe. Nzaali wano Samuel Walter Mukakulubega mbadde ku record ng'omuntu eyawagira ow'ekitiibwa Haji Nasantege Sebagala ne mwami Luwanga tuli basajja bato ate nga tetuli basiraamu n'abalala bangi abagwa mu kiti kyaffe. Mbadde ku record ng'eyakomyawo mwami Lukwago mu kisanja kino ekiwedde nga nze ndi mukatuliki mwami Lukwago musiraamu. Toyinza kuŋŋamba olwaleero mbadde ku record nga bwe nagende wa Mwiru omusajja atali mukatoliki nga bwe nagende wa Sumani omusajja omusiraamu nga tuwagira abantu abatali ba ddiini yaffe oba abatali ba mawanga gaffe. Toyinza kuŋŋamba olwaleero muno ekibiina ekigenda okununula eggwanga lino n'okomyawo ebyobufuzi ebyayita gwe ng'obikola ng'omuntu omu so nga tofunye na mandate ya leadership oba ba members aba NUP ne People Power n'obikola ku lulwo ng'omuntu n'ovulunga n'oleeta emivuyo mu kintu ekibadde kiteredde ate kiwagirwa ba people obulungi. Era kirajjukirwa nti kolera amadiini ag'enjawulo ate yakolera nnyo abasiraamu n'okusinga bammeeya abasiraamu bennyini. Oyinza otya okugamba nti olw'okuba oli wa ddiini bwete Mukatuliki oyo tasaanidde bwa meeya bwa Kampala ate ono yasaanidde bwa meeya bwa Kampala. Ekyo tukivumiriranga kampeyini eno era twebaza ne munnaffe Latif Ssebagala eyalabye ebituli ebingi ebiri mu kulondebwa kwe n'agamba nedda newandibadde ekifo nandikyagadde naye kangende ku kirala tusobole okuleka ne people power nga zigenda mu maaso n'olutalo lw'okunonola eggwanga nga munnaffe omulala gwe bavetinga yafuuse road mayor. Tulinda abakulembeze bano ne electoral commission yeyo okuvaayo okukuubira bateeke record right.
Oli ku BOCAT TV leero enkya na luli BOCAT TV.